A very warm good morning to all of you. Dear Dr. Sami Daniel, today's resource person, respected vice presidents, principals, and my dear teachers. Welcome to the 7th day of the pedagogical training series organized by the DIOCESAN Mission Education Board for MGM group of schools. There's a misconception among some students and parents that social science is a subject of less importance. Some might even treat it as an unwanted subject in the school. For a few students, social science is one of the so-called boring subjects. I was fortunate enough to have a couple of good teachers in my school, and they really helped me to start liking the subject. I hope today's webinar would empower our teachers to make the students love the subject. It would empower teachers to make the subject more interesting to our students. We are blessed to have Dr. Sami Daniel, an expert on the topic, who can indeed weave magic with his presentation. For the further proceedings of the day, I would request Father Joseph Sunny John, the principal of MGM School, Tanpuri, to give the welcome address.
Good morning, all of you. I think I am audible to everyone. Respected Bishop, respected His Grace Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius, the President and Manager of MGM Group of Institutions, as well as the President of Diocesan and Mission Education Board, Bhilai, Professor Dr. Sami Daniel, the Honorable Resource Person for today's webinar, Father Dr. Joshi Varghese, the Diocesan Education Officer, the Vice Presidents, the Principal, and the teaching community of MGM Group of Institutions. Today we will have the 7th webinar of the academic session 2021-22, which will be conducted by the MGM Group of Institutions along with the Diocesan and Mission Education Board, Bhilai. The topic for today's webinar is Magic of Teaching Social Science Effectively. First of all, I would like to welcome our respected Bishop, His Grace Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius, as I already told, who is the manager and president of our institution as well as the education board. Actually, he holds the key position of the administrative network of all the schools. He is the hub of school activity. All of us look towards him for guidance as well as inspiration. On behalf of all of us, I would like to welcome His Grace, Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius, for today's webinar. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Professor Sami Daniel, the Honorable Resource Person for today's webinar. Professor Sami Daniel, he was the principal of Mount Tabor Training College, Pathanapuram in Kerala. At present, he is working as the professor of Titus II Teachers College in Thiruvalla, Kerala. He is also the faculty member of the Education Research Guide of University of Kerala. He is the former member of the Board of Studies of Kerala University. He used to take a lot of webinars, and he is a resource person in the area of different studies. He is a motivational speaker and he is a counselor. And I remember last year when he took the career counseling for the higher class students of MGM students. After the counseling, after the virtual career counseling, many parents and students told me that it was very much helpful and effective for their children to choose the career as well as the stream according to the ability and aptitude of their children. And not only he's a motivational speaker, we can see him in different fields, like spiritually also. He is a member of a governing board of the prestigious Orthodox Theological College in Kottayam, Kerala. And he's the convener of the Sunday School Text Development Committee of Indian Orthodox Church. I think that today we are very lucky to have him to lead the webinar on behalf of this education board, the Diocesan and Mission Education Board, as well as on behalf of a MGM group of institution. I wholeheartedly welcome Professor Dr. Sami Daniel for today's webinar. Next, I would like to welcome Father Dr. Joshi Varghese, who is the Diocesan Education Officer. And I will say that without him, these webinars, the webinars of last year as well as this year, would not have been possible. And he's the brain. I will say that he's the brain behind the success of all these webinars. I would like to compare him with one character in the Holy Bible, that is King Solomon. King Solomon, he was a king, and he was a king full of knowledge, wisdom, and who always stood for justice. He was against justice. He always stood for justice. These type of virtues we can see in Father Dr. Joshi Varghese. On behalf of all of us, I do welcome Father Dr. Joshi Varghese for today's webinar. Last but not the least, I'd like to welcome all the vice presidents, the principals, and the teaching community of MGM schools, especially those who are attending today's webinar. I would like to say that before we do something for the school or in the school, we used to plan. And without planning, nothing can be done. So in the lesson plan also, the teachers have to work. The lesson plan is there. And after that only, they can successfully complete their teaching work in the classroom. Like the administrators, everyone has to plan a lot. And there is a saying that battles are won the day before. Battles are won the day before means it's about the planning. We do plan a lot of things. But I want to say that if plan A is not working or is a failure, don't worry, because in the alphabet, there are 25 more letters. So I think that these type of webinars will help us to identify these type of letters and use them effectively. Hope that today's webinar will be very fruitful to all of us. I once again welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Achan. Let's delve into today's session. I request our honorable resource person, most respected Dr. Sami Daniel, to take over. So please.
Thank you so much, Achan. Let me present. A warm good morning to you all. Thank you so much for having invited me to this webinar series, orientation series. So let us begin our class with a prayer song. This is in Malayalam. It's a film song also. I am giving the English equivalent to every line, so you can understand the meaning also. So let us all pray together for the whole world. Lokam muzhuvan sukham pagarana sneha deepame mili turakku. Lokam muzhuvan sukham pagarana sneha deepame mili turakku. Kadana nivarana kanivinnurave കാട്ടിൻ നടുവിൽ വഴി തെളിക്കൂ ലോകം മുഴുവൻ സുഖം പകരാനായി സ്നേഹദീപമേ മിഴി തുറക്കൂ. പരീക്ഷണത്തിൻ വാൾമുനയേറ്റി പടനിലത്തിൽ ഞങ്ങൾ വീഴുമ്പോൾ ഹൃദയ ക്ഷതിയാൽ രക്തം ചിന്തി മിഴിനീർ പുഴയിൽ താഴുമ്പോൾ താങ്ങായി തണലായി ദിവ്യൗഷധിയായി നാഥ കരം പിടിക്കൂ. ലോകം മുഴുവൻ സുഖം പകരാനാ സ്നേഹദീപമേ മിഴി തുറക്കൂ. Thank you so much once again. I congratulate at the very outset the organizers of all this orientation series, because it is so much useful and fruitful to the teaching community. Achin has called me in the initial stages, and I helped him to arrange some teachers also from Mount Tabor, Patanapuram, and also from Titus Second Teachers College, Thiruvalla. And he asked me to take a class by myself about social science also. So I agreed, because I have great pleasure in joining with you all. That's the thing, that's the main thing. So I do express my sincere gratitude and thanks to all the organizers, especially my classmate and friend, close intimate friend and colleagues of during my teaching and also during my research studies. During my research studies, Joseph Mar Divanasius Thirumeni was a classmate of mine. He was doing research in Kariyvattam campus, and I was doing research in Tekkad Education Department. So we were living together in the student center Trivandrum, and we have close intimacy also. So I do express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dionysius Thirumeni, who is the present manager of these institutions. Okay, I also express my thanks to all the organizers, especially Joshi Achan and also Joseph Achan, and all the priests associated with this, and the principals and the staff members, all the teaching community, as a family of MGM group. I express my sincere thanks. And also I do sincerely welcome some of my students have joined this orientation. Some of my M.Ed students from Titus Second Teachers College joined this orientation program in order to document and also in order to participate in our orientation program. So I express my thanks to those students also. So before going into the any detailed introduction, I may straight away go to the introductory part of my topic, that is the magic of teaching social science effectively. So when I searched the internet, I could see several innovative programs that you are planning. This is one among them, and also several innovative programs are there for the students also, not only for the students but to the community also. Okay, all of you are, I think you are dedicated and committed to this particular growth of the students and also the society, the community development. You are doing a great job. Tuni, Vane. ഉണ്ണി നെറ്റ് പോയി മോനെ.
Sir, it's audible. You are live and it's audible.
Audible?
Yes, yes. There's no interruption.
Okay. I think it has gone. Okay. You see on my screen?
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay. Then no problem. Okay. The objectives of today's session. In my mind, there are three objectives, major objectives. I would like to enable you to make your teaching objective-based. Whatever the subject is, the teaching should be objective-based. Then equip you to use appropriate instructional strategies. You may be using several strategies, but I am only refreshing your knowledge with regard to the use of various strategies. If you are not using certain innovative strategies, or if you are not following a multi-methodology approach, I will be ensuring, I will be helping you to make use of a multi-methodology approach in your teaching. And the third one is to encourage you to use appropriate evaluation strategies for your teaching. That also you may be doing, but still I will be insisting not only the external or internal examination or test paper. Along with that, there can be some formative and continuous evaluation strategies through which you can very effectively evaluate your students, not only the achievement of the students, but the entire course scholastic attainment also you can evaluate. That I will be making you familiar. So at the very outset, I inform you, I like to make you firm that an ideal teacher has strong faith in God. Strong faith in God. Otherwise, we cannot be successful in our teaching, because this is a divine calling. So divine calling. You are all called upon to this profession. So make this profession as your life itself. So dedicate yourself before God and pray regularly, and not only for your children, but your students as well. Consider your students as your own children and then pray for them. A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. Consider this. A lamp that lights another. A teacher is just like a lamp that lights another lamp. So this is a teacher's prayer. Let us all pray this every day. Try to put this on your table, and also try to remember this prayer. Not only this prayer, there are several prayers are there in the internet. You can take one of them and you can paste it in front of your study table or like that. Lord, enable me to teach with wisdom, for I help to shape the mind. Equip me to teach with the truth, for I help to shape the conscience. Encourage me to teach with vision, for I help to shape the future. Empower me to teach with love, for I help to shape the world. So let us pray this every day. When you step into the school campus, pray just a moment, thinking that it is your own home. Consider the institution as your own home. Consider the management as your parents or elder brothers and sisters. Consider the principals and staff members as your brothers and sisters. Maybe elder brother, elder sister, or younger brother or younger sister. All are my brothers and sisters. And consider all the students as my children. So, oh God, I am entering into this institution, which is same as my home. I have two homes, two houses. One is at my residential place, and also, and the another is this one. So you have a prayer like this every day when you step into the school campus. I may quote a quotation given by APJ Abdul Kalam. If a country is to be corruption free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are 3 key societal members who can make a difference. Okay, they are the father, the mother, and the teacher. These 3 are the key societal persons, 3 catalysts who can make a difference, make change, make developments to the community and to the nation. So we are called upon to make difference, make changes in the very minds of the students, and thereby making difference and changes and developments in the society and the nation at large. So try to remember all these things. Speak 5 lines to yourself every morning. This is also another quotation given by APJ. I am the best. I can do this. God is always with me. I am a winner. Today is my day. I am a winner. Today is my day. Okay, social science. In the introductory speech, Joshi Achan expressed that some teachers believe that social science is a less important subject. So while at school, I also considered like this. Social science or history, geography, political science, economics. All these are not important subjects, but mathematics, physics, chemistry, literature, all these are very important subjects like that. But we should be the social science teachers. Ajahn also expressed that he has a good number of dedicated and committed social science teachers in our schools. I do sincerely congratulate all of you for having chosen such a subject, very, very fruitful, very, very useful, and very, very significant as far as the nation is concerned. Okay, so I congratulate all of you. Social science is a great subject. Okay, I'll be expressing the significance of social sciences. So first of all, remember that it is social science is not a single subject. It is very often called social sciences. Social sciences, because history is a social science, economics is a social science, political science is a social science, geography is a social science. All these are social sciences. So there are 2 types of this faculty, this subject. You may have heard of social studies also. In some foreign countries still use the term social studies. Social studies. We have changed the subject name as social science. Social science is not a single subject, but social studies is a single subject, because in social studies, the instructional parts of history, economics, political science, and all other subjects are included and blended together to form a single subject for instruction at school level, at the school level. And for higher level, we have social sciences like history as full, political science as full. For example, if you go to graduation and post-graduation, you are studying history as full, economics as full subjects, not social studies. But social studies is meant for school subject. It's a branch of science that deals with the institutions, functioning of human society, and the interpersonal relationship of individuals as members of the society. We study individuals in this subject not as individuals, but as a group. As a group, as a society, we study man as a group, as a person, as a member of the group, not studying man as an individual. In other subjects, zoology, like that, maybe studying man as a body, man as an individual organism, and in that we will be studying each and every part also. So here we are studying man as a society. What man has to do in the society, what are the various functions of man to the society, and what are the various responsibilities of the society towards its members as man. Okay, so all these are importance of teaching social science. What are the importance of teaching social science? It helps in becoming an efficient citizen of democracy. It develops an efficient democratic citizenship in the minds of the students, so as to become efficient democratic citizens of future. We are equipping them. It has significance to develop an international viewpoint. We teach world history. It's an international affairs, we teach them. So if we teach world history, the parochialism or narrow-mindedness may be rooted out. We'll be thinking the world as a whole, world as a community, world as a family, world as a village, like that. Okay, it helps form man's social character, for the development of social behavior, social values, social character. We teach social science. Through social science, man is made duty bound. Man is behaving in the society. How to behave well in the society, we will be teaching them through this subject. It enlightens the path of progress and advancement of every society, every nation. It is important for moral progress of society. Moral progress also we are dealing with. Important for institutions and communities. We teach social science. Through this, man is enabled to solve practical problems of life. Various social problems, along with the personal problems also we are facing. We are helping them to solve with the various social and personal problems. Social sciences are the fields of scholarship that study society. We study about society, how the society functions, how the society originated, how the society exists, and how the society develops. All these are coming under the purview of social science. Social science is commonly used as an umbrella term to refer to a plurality of fields outside of the natural science. Natural sciences are physics, chemistry, like that. Okay, besides this natural sciences, it has as an umbrella term to include anthropology, archaeology, business administration, communication, criminology, economics, education, government, linguistics, international relations, such and such subjects we include it. This is an umbrella term of social science. It includes human geography, economics, linguistics, political science, anthropology, communication, sociology, psychology, criminology, law, development studies, cultural studies, and several other related subjects are included in the particular discipline, social science. So it's a great subject. It's a vast subject. Role of science, we can see this. It includes English, biology. English means literature. Literature, history of every nation is studied through its literature. Biology, physics, chemistry, Malayalam. Malayalam also contains literature. Cultural heritage, political science, history, Islamic history, sociology, geography, Hindi, economics, mathematics, like that. Do we arrange properly all these subjects? The social science is underlying within all these subjects. You can see the social science aspects in all these subjects. Okay, such a rich subject is that social science. Is social science an art or a science? Is social science an art? In olden days, it was considered that only it's an art. It's a humanities subject. It's not a science. Now it is considered as a science. It is both. The answer is it is both an art and a science. So why it is an art? Why it is a science? Social science is an art because it is practiced with the skill and competence. It is practiced with the skill and competence. Okay, several observations are there. Several experimentations are there. Several validations are there. Predictions are there. It should be handled with the skill, appropriate skill and dexterity and competence also. So it's an art. It's a science. What are the characteristics of science? We can see objectivity, accuracy, experimentation, prediction, etc. All these are characteristics of science. Then in social science, we have objectivity. We have accuracy. Not 100% accuracy, but still we have accuracy. Population, rate of growth of population in our country. Maybe not 10% accurate, but still we have data on it. Literacy rate, death rate, birth rate, rate of growth. So there are data for that. There are statistical usages also, statistical interpretations also. There is experimentation, lab work is there. In geography, several lab experiments are there. Several experiments. Okay, then predictions also possible. Population prediction. What will be the population in 2030 or 2050? What will be the population if the rate of growth continues like this? What will be the population of 2050? So much predictions we can say, we can take in social science also. May not be accurate, but still we have prediction. So that prediction may help us to plan our future, to plan systematically for the development of the future. This prediction may be helpful for us. It's a science as it is based on a body of systematically derived knowledge converted into principles which guide its practices. Okay, Acha, I'm not getting the chat box, so I check whether it is.
Sir, if there are any questions, we can answer that at the end.
Okay, now it is okay. No problem, Acha.
Okay.
Now it is okay. Okay, then let me give you a social science and social studies. Social science is an original subject and it is complex also. It has complexity of its own. But social studies is simple, collected and organized. It is collected purposefully for the purpose of instruction, for the purpose of teaching in our school. It contains parts from history, parts from social science, geography, parts from economics, political science, sociology, and all these parts from subjects may be integrated and blended together for the purpose of teaching in school. That is the subject, social studies. It is not social science. Social science is the original subject. It is complex also. But social studies is not at all complex because it is organized for the purpose of instruction. Okay, it is arranged based on the difficulty level also. The most simple subjects are included in the beginning classes, and then later on the other difficult items are included. Social science follows an adult approach. It's not a learner's approach. Whereas social studies follows a child-centered approach. Learner-centered approach. Social science contains the theory part of human affairs, whereas social studies contains the practice part of human affairs. That's the difference. The scope of social science is much wider. It has wider scope. You can, suppose you take history or your +2 subject, then you can take history in the degree class also for your degree. You can take history as the main subject. And if you go for PG degree, you can take history alone. You are actually specializing in that particular area. The scope is very wide, but social studies scope is very limited. We cannot see social studies beyond secondary education. Okay, it's up to the secondary level we can adopt social studies. Social science is general, whereas social studies is very specific, specifically meant for the purpose of instruction at school. Social science emphasizes social utility, whereas social studies emphasizes instructional utility. These are the fundamental differences between social science and social studies. Okay, and what is the need for teaching social science in our school? How can you justify, as a social science teacher, we should be able to justify the need for including social science in the school curriculum. Why should we learn, or why should we teach social science? There are three major considerations for which we include this particular subject in the school curriculum. One is psychological considerations, curricular considerations, and applicational considerations. The psychological considerations, when we think of it, we can see that the social science helps to widen the mental horizon of the students. It widens the perspective. It widens the perspective. Up to my pre-degree, I was a science student. For my pre-degree, I took a first group. In those days, it was like that. First group, mathematics, physics, and chemistry, main. Second group, physics, chemistry, and biology. Not biomaths like that. That's only recent development. In our days, it was like that. Achana also knows it. Okay, biology, that means physics, chemistry, and zoology and botany. Then a third group, humanities, history, economics, political science, like that. Then fourth group, commerce group. Okay, so I took first group, physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And then for my degree, I took economics. When I joined for economics, I began to like the subjects very much when compared to all those other physics or chemistry. Maybe subject may not be less significant, but still I have an interest, a real interest towards economics, because I always like mathematics. So, but I couldn't join for BSc mathematics for some reason. So I took economics. So I began to like all those subjects like economics, political science, geography, then sociology, like that. All the subjects I liked very much. I began to like. That's the thing. Because it helped to widen my mental horizon also. It's a real thing. In my own experience, I am telling. So if I studied physics, I am studying only the equation like that. Okay. The minimum things I am studying for the examination also. But when I studied economics, when I studied production, consumption, exchange, all these things, I was actually comparing those principles with my life. What is going on in the market mechanism, how price is determined for each product. When I learn, I am converting that into my own life situations. So that has happened in my life. So I began to like, really like all those subjects. So it has a magical effect in my life. That's the thing. It helps to widen the mental horizon of student, widens the perspectives, widens our mental perspectives. It accelerates intellectual activities. This is applicable to all subjects. If you study any subject, it can accelerate intellectual activities. Similarly, social science can also accelerate your intellectual activities. I'm not saying that only social science can accelerate. No, every subject can accelerate intellectual activities. Similarly, social science can also, it's a complete, an integrated development. We should have an integrated development. So every aspect of our intellectual component should have development. Okay, so this subject can also help a lot in that. Then social science helps to foster good qualities like tolerance, sympathy, common brotherhood, patriotism, cooperation, nationalism, and international understanding. If you teach Indian history, you may be fostering unknowingly or knowingly, you are fostering a spirit of nationalism. It should not be narrow, it should be wider. Along with Indian history, you are teaching world history also. Why? Because we need to not only sticking on our perspective to our nation alone, we should help them to widen their perspective to the whole world. That's why I prayed today in the beginning, prayed for the whole world. The whole world was affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. We need to pray every day for the whole world, not for ourselves, not for our immediate community, or not for our state, or not for our country, but pray for the whole world. All citizens of the world are my brother and sister, my brothers and sisters. Consider like that. It should be the perspective of every social science teacher. Then our students will also develop such a perspective. So in order to develop such qualities, such greater qualities, social science has a great significance. Then development of right attitude, social problems, social issues, dowry, okay, attitude towards democracy. All these have a significant influence in the minds of the students. Then helps to promote self-understanding. As with every subject has a power to promote self-understanding. Similarly, this subject can also promote self-understanding. Development of self-respect, self-esteem. For all these things, this subject has a significant role. Then secondly, curricular considerations. There are certain aspects included in the curriculum which are very useful for us to develop our perspective. Very useful for us to live in the community. Helps to study people as social groups and not as individuals. Gives useful information regarding origin, growth, and development of human civilization. We are teaching that. Helps to have proper conception of time, space, and society. Time and space are the twin souls of history. You know it. Time and space. In history, we teach record past events. Somebody may ask why we teach this useless past events. Past is past. Then why do you teach this dead past? No, past is not dead. Suppose our father has died. Father is dead. Then once father is dead, there is no father at all? No. He is still my father. Even if he is dead, but I have to learn several things by remembering him, by remembering his life. What are the peculiar importance, great significance of his life? Even still, my father has died before 26 years back. My father died. But still, in my memory, he is living. That memory is history. That real pleasant memory, that sweet memory is nothing but history. History is his story, like that. Jesus Christ has made a history. He has divided the time into two, AD and BC. So history is nothing but history. So it is very pleasant to study history. Is a pleasant thing. As DIOCESAN said, it should be made an interesting story. When you teach the dynasties, it should be made just like a story. Hello, my dear students. Today I'm going to teach you a story, not history, but a story. A story of Shah Jahan, a story of Akbar. Today I'm going to. We are all going to learn a story. So time and space. So history is record of past events. I should say past great events, which are lessons for us, to shape our future. History is a lesson to shape our future. Okay, so history is great. We should never forget history. Accept it and analyze it. There may be several merits and demerits for that. Past administrative reforms may be having several limitations. It may be traditional, but still we may having certain lessons for the future. That's the thing. Okay, social science imparts social experience and helps for socialization and social adjustments. Social science helps a student to make himself or herself socialized with the community. That means be a part of the society. How to behave well in the society, that is learned in social science. Because we are learning the science of society. Social science is the science of the society. So we are teaching how to behave well in the society. Thereby we are socializing the child. So how to adjust with the society. We are teaching social adjustments also. Social change and social development. Then applicational considerations. The subject has great application. To help to understand and interpret the major social issues, social problems. Application means problem solving. This subject helps to understand and interpret the major social problems that may be confronted later by the students. When they grow up, there may be several social problems. So in order to equip himself to face the problems and to solve the problems, this subject has great use. Social science serves as a guide to life in unfamiliar situations. Helps to forecast future changes likely to arise in the society and in the world. Help to solve the various social problems and that act as hindrances to development. There may be several problems which are acting as problems of hindrances of development. Development of the society, development of the nation. The students may be able to, when they grow up, they can become, they will be able to face the situation, face the nation, face the problems of the nation. Okay, thank you. Then we can see some differences between the natural science and social science. Even though social science is a science, it is not equated with natural science. Natural science, relationship. Natural science includes fields such as biology, science and astronomy. Social science includes fields such as economics, political science, law, geography, history, etc. Okay. Natural scientific methods as well as other methods. medical doctors, nurses, engineers, biologists, chemists, astronomers, etc. Whereas in social science, students can become lawyers, linguists, historians, writers, journalists, teachers, accountants, etc., etc., of the multiple fields. So this is the fundamental difference between natural science or pure science and social science. Then what are the principles of teaching social science? It's a principle of aim. There should be an objective. I'll be going in detail that. It should be based on certain objectives, that certain predetermined objectives. If you are not aware of the various objectives for which you teach, then teaching will be blind. Somebody may ask you, why do you teach? I'm also going to ask you, why you teach. We should know the objectives clearly, because then only our teaching will be purposeful and meaningful also. So that is a principle of aim. And principle of planning, that teaching should be properly planned. You should all prepare lesson notes of your own. Note that has been studied in your B.Ed or like Titus, you're like that. DLED, you're like that. You have to develop a structure of your own, comfortable for you to transact the curriculum. You may study at several forms. As Joseph Agent said, there may be a plan for you to teach, plan A. If you find that it is a failure, then consider that there are several letters remaining in addition to A. There can be less plan B, plan C, plan B, and like that plan Z. Several letters are there. You can try several other structures of plans, and you can arrive at a plan of your own. A plan of your own. It should contain objectives. It should contain learning activities. It should contain certain applications, certain values, certain messages, certain morals, certain activities for enriching the intellectual capacity, certain follow-up activities. So it should contain all those items, but still the structure can be developed by your own. So have a proper planning for your teaching. Prepare lesson notes, daily lesson notes. Prepare. Maybe in structure form. Not maybe you may not be getting time for writing detailed plan, but still, if you are experienced, you need only certain structure and mentioning of the various points and activities. You need not write the entire activities, but still you can point out the name of the activity to be done in the class. Okay, the plan should contain all those items. Then principle of correlation. Principle of correlation. There can be external and internal correlation. What is meant by external correlation? Social science may be having relation with other subjects. For example, if you teach global warming, environmental protection like that. We celebrated Environment Day on 5th of June. So we have given several messages to the students. We have several competitions to the students. If you teach environmental ecosystem restoration, we may be dealing with chemistry as catalysts, then chlorofluorocarbon, then ozone, O3, ozone depletion. O3 is a chemical term. Then we may be making use of chemistry. Then several mathematical applications are there in social science. You may be using average, sigma x by n. That's an average, equation for average, arithmetic mean. We may be using that. Some trigonometrical, in geography, we may be making use of trigonometrical applications in order to find the height of a tree, height of a building, height of a tower. We may be using trigonometrical application. finding out the height. So mathematics, application of mathematics. So these are all external. Then relation with the literature, I have told, literature. So we have music, literature, relation with music also. You can make use of music for teaching your subjects as a mnemonic. I'll be making you familiar with mnemonics later. So relation with the music, relation with mathematics, relation with science, relation with literature, like that. Okay, then what is internal correlation? Every subject has internal correlation, correlation within the subjects. If you consider social science, history and economics, history and geography, history and political science, what is the relation between history and geography? It is said that history without geography is like a picture without frame. It's a frameless picture. So in order to give a framework to the subject history, geography is needed. Okay, if we compare learning subjects with acting a drama, geography is the study of the stage and history deals with the study of different characters. Geography is the study of the stage where the characters are acting, then the study of the characters form the history. So there's so much difference, and the relation is there. Then what is history with the political science? History is the root and political science is the fruit. So history without political science has no fruit, and political science without history has no root. Okay, these two are so much related. Okay, many historical events and their origin in the economic conditions of people at that time had their origin in the economic conditions. That's so much related are history and economics. Several historical events occurred due to the economic crisis or economic problems prevailed in those times. Maybe we all know that people may be in struggle due to some economic aspects, economic dealings. Okay, many people were put in jail due to the misappropriations in economic dealings. Okay, that we know. Corruption like that, bribes and corruption like that. Okay, history is not a subject. Trevelyan says that history is not a subject at all, but a house in which all subjects dwell. History is not a subject, single subject, but a house in which all subjects dwell. That is the quotation given by Trevelyan. Okay, this much relations are there with social science with other subjects, and also social science within the subject. Then principle, we need to make use of correlation. While teaching, we should think of how this particular topic can be correlated within the subject and also with the other subjects. If ever you find a correlation, try to mention in the class and ask students to find out the relationship also. Okay, then principle of diagnosis and remedial teaching. There is a diagnostic objective, purpose of diagnosis. What is the usefulness of diagnosis? Several problems are there experienced by students. Our students may be having several problems. When you see a symptom, you need to you should take some time to find out the real cause of the problem. That is the diagnosis purpose. If you find out certain problems in the students, you should adopt some remedial measures. That's why we need to teach again. That's a remedial teaching. As a remedial teaching, in order to remedy the weakness of the students, you teach again. Not as you taught in last class. No, it's only a remedial teaching, giving only certain remedial measures. Maybe simplifying the particular concept, simplifying the information, giving additional examples, giving some comparisons, showing a picture like that, or showing a video like that. Okay, this is remedial teaching. Okay. So principle of diagnosis and remedial teaching, principle of effective strategies. Principle of effective strategies that we will be dealing in detail. You need to make use of strategies and methods for making our teaching effective. Okay, that we will deal. Principle of learner participation. You ensure that learners should participate fully in your class. It should be interesting like that. Maybe presenting the topic in the form of a story, in the form of a narration in which you presented, you attended, like that. When you teach an event, freedom struggle, our war of independence, freedom struggle, if you teach it continuously, you may be expressing it, presenting it in the way that you actually presented, joined with that. Okay, great revolt, and several other events related to our freedom struggle. When the teacher presents it, you may be imagining that I was also along with that group. I was also participated in that particular scene. Then the students may also be feeling that they are also participating in the particular scene. Okay, so you should narrate, that is narration. You should narrate the particular event in the most effective manner. Then principle of appropriate learning environment. Create a learning environment which is absolutely favorable to the students. So when I was working in Mount Tabor Training College, before being the principal, I was a teacher of social science, not a teacher, teacher educator of social science teaching there. So I think Joshiachan visited our college along with Thirumeni. When I was principal, there we conducted an interview for appointing staff of this group of institutions there. 1 or 2 teachers were appointed, I think. Okay. So if you enter in my class, I equipped this class with great thinkers, great philosophers, great historians, great sociologists like that. And a brief life sketch also. I asked my students to prepare and arrange this in our class. They were preparing this as part of their practical works, but they donated it in our class. Then I helped them to and encouraged them to prepare and properly place that particular item in the class. So when you enter in that particular class, you may be feeling that several social events, several social leaders, great contributions of great leaders you may be remembering. So that's the thing. It's an appropriate learning environment. In your class may not be a social science class alone. Okay, the class may be having several items, not only the photo of historians, sociologists like that, physicists also. Great pictures of Newton, Einstein, like that. For every subject you can place. So it should have a corner for social science also. It should not be a neglected subject in the class. You should make it more significant. That's the thing. Then principle of evaluation. Finally, it is the principle of evaluation with which you need to evaluate properly the students. Students should not be assessed with a final examination. No. They got only 30 out of 50. No. You can assess continuously. You can adopt formative evaluation. That is what is called continuous comprehensive evaluation. The scholastic as well as co-scholastic activities are to be measured and evaluated and assessed as part of your evaluation. So I'll be making you familiar with certain evaluation techniques also through which you can continuously evaluate your students. Then why we teach? That's a great question. Why we teach? In order to make you active. Hello, my dear colleagues, my dear friends, my dear brothers and sisters, please give me an answer in the chat box. Why do you teach? It's a personal question. It's a personal question. I'll be giving you a proper answer to this, but still I am asking you just to make you active in my class. You give in the chat box, why do you teach? What is the purpose of your teaching? You teach social science, I think. I have already mentioned what is the need for including this subject in the social science, the school curriculum. So what is the significance of this subject? What are the great functions this subject can do to the life of the students, like that, not only students, but to the nation as well. So, okay. Kameshwari has given a beautiful answer: to impart knowledge to the students. Very good answer. Congratulations. Okay, any other? Nishi Jain: to gain all types of information and learn knowledge. Oh, to gain all types of information, to learn knowledge. Okay, very good, very good. To teach present, past, and future of life. Oh, very good, very good. Lumna. Then Janaki, to mold children. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Janaki, to mold children. I believe teaching is twice learning. Jesse Matthew, I believe teaching is twice learning. Very good answer. Avina, to face challenges of life. Then Suma, to make a good human being. Very good, very good. Chanda, help them to learn and how they react towards society. Very good, very good. Nisha Matthew, we can relating it to the world around them. Very good. Anamika, I teach with a purpose to develop responsible citizens. Very good. Sniktha, to make children understand about surroundings. Kanti, help students to become better citizens, to clear the concept about the subjects. Sharon Daniel. Alka, to make students look at the world in a positive attitude. Oh, great. Very good, very good. Rita, we are teaching students many things related past. We are talking them unknown to known. Okay, very good, very good. Inculcate the spirit. We are also learning while teaching. Very good. So you teach the students for the purpose of learning also. Very good. Nishi, teach development of all educational values. Okay, you are all giving several answers. I do sincerely congratulate all of you. Okay. Now I am going again to clarify my own idea. Social science is a subject which is the combination of. Oh, I think that's a very good answer. Social science is a subject which is the combination of all subjects. A man is a social animal. I think so. Social science is the basic subject. This is only a subject which aids a child social, helps child social. I teach to increase my knowledge. Okay. Thank you so much. Very good. Very effective answer. Punyavadi. Punyavadi, is it? Am I correct? Punyavadi. Okay. Thank you so much. Very good. I do sincerely appreciate all of you for having given such wonderful answers to your teaching. Somehow you have an objective in your mind. So it is purposeful. So today in this class, I want to make it more clear. That's the thing. I want to make it more clear and more specific also, so that you can have more clear objectives in your mind and specifically teaching for that purpose. And then only your teaching will be objective based. Okay. This is all general aspects with which you teach. Okay. You know you are going to learn certain specific objectives for which you need to plan your topics or subjects. There are some reasons that we teach. Just like you said, we teach because we love kids. We teach because we long to make the future better than today. You all said that. We teach because helping others learn and grow is fulfilling. We teach because teaching is what we are called to do. Some believe that I'm called upon to do teaching. That's why I teach my students. We teach because words will live long after we do. Okay, so that's another purpose. We teach because we are good at it, and having good teachers matters. Okay, we teach because we can't sleep at night knowing we could have done more. You could have done more. We are thinking even in the night also. Yesterday night I was thinking like that. How can I take my class even better? I was preparing yesterday evening till night. But when I went to bed, I was thinking, that's a real fact. How can I make it further better? That's why all teachers are thinking. That is not the case with a bank official or a clerk or any other job. This is specifically true with the case of a teacher. So the teacher is always thinking of how to improve his teaching. He should. That's the thing. We teach because it's a challenge. We teach because we can't get enough of those aha moments. Oh, it's a great moment along with the students. It's a very happy, pleasant moment. Okay. So after retirement, I have formed a WhatsApp group of my students. Not all students. I have taught more than 5,000 students during my tenure of 30 years in my training college. More than 5,000. All over the world, there may be teachers and police officers and ministers also. Now the present Kerala minister, Veena George, you might have heard the name. Veena George. She was my student in Mount Tabor Training College during 2003. Okay, so she is now the minister. So as a teacher, I have access to her, strong access to her in my Niyoja Mandala, Aranmula. Pathanamthitta is my the constituency, assembly constituency. Aranmula is the name. She was Aranmula MLA, and now became the Minister of Health Minister. Okay, so that is a great thing. That's a satisfaction a teacher can enjoy. Okay, you also feel like that. Okay, that's the thing. Just because that we may be teaching. We teach because we love teaching. Several people, teachers may be saying that, because I love teaching. So these are all general things as you said. But I will be giving you some definite, specific and well accurate objectives. A clear understanding of the learning outcomes, instruction strategies, and evaluation. These three aspects I am going to emphasize. Educational goals can be of two types. One is general aims and instructional objective. The other is instructional objectives. General aims are very general, as the term emphasizes. They are distant goals attainable through teaching. Distant goals. They cannot be attained through the teaching of a particular period, of a particular week or particular month or even a particular year. It can be attained through the series of teaching at various stages. They are general aims. Whereas we should have some instructional objectives. They are specific goals attainable through even the teaching of a particular period. Even the teaching of a particular period, we can attain this goal. That's why we mention only instructional objectives in the lesson plan, not the general aims. We will not usually write the general aims in the lesson plan, but if we write it, no harm in it. But because we cannot aim all these general aims through the teaching of a particular class. So we will be dealing these two very fast. Okay. General aims of teaching social science. So what are the general aims of teaching? To equip the child intellectually to the fullest. So I have already told you that this is not the sole objective of aim of social science. No, it is only an aim that all subjects have. Okay, all subjects have such an aim generally. So along with it, social science also has such an aim to equip the child intellectually to the fullest. We are contributing to the intellectual development of the students along with other subjects. Okay, then to build intelligent democratic citizenship. So that's a great aim that social science has. Intelligent democratic citizenship. We try to mold good citizens. Somebody told me to mold good citizens, to make good citizens. Seema Srivastava. Very good, very good. To make good citizens. We can cultivate intelligent democratic citizenship qualities through the subjects if you deliberately plan for that. Okay, we will be having the problems of some topics: democracy, form of government, legislature, executive, judiciary, like that. Then fundamental rights, fundamental duties. Okay, all these come under constituents, our constitution, constitutional provisions. So when we teach all those topics, we can give emphasis to certain democratic citizenship qualities. Then to socialize the child in all respects. Socialization process can be strengthened through the subject. To develop social values like cooperation, tolerance, sympathy, affection, like that. Then to help the child solve the various social and individual problems that we have already mentioned it. To help the child appreciate India's rich cultural heritage. Very good. When we teach Indian history, we'll be teaching the cultural heritage of India. Maybe you may be showing several monuments, just like Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar, like that. You may be showing all those items that show India's rich cultural heritage. Nalanda, Takshashila, like that. You can show them several monuments and other such items. Okay, then to develop healthy social behavior. Healthy social behavior. You may be teaching them in group. You may be adopting a discussion in group discussions. Okay, several things. To develop proper conception of time, space, and society that we have already covered. To foster national feeling. To foster national feeling. How can you foster national feeling? Celebrating birthdays of national leaders. Celebrating national leaders. Encouraging pen friendship with the students of other states. Okay, study of different languages. Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, English, Hindi, Marathi. Several languages, helping them to learn. Sanskrit, like that. Okay, then to promote international understanding. International understanding. One of the most important aims of teaching world history is to promote international understanding. How can you promote international understanding? Certain activities. Singing patriotic songs of international nature. For national feeling, singing national integration songs. Okay, so visiting abroad, visiting foreign countries, inviting teachers from abroad. Now it may not be possible, but still you can. Now it is possible through webinar series. You can invite professors and experts from foreign countries. That's a form of international understanding, developing international understanding. Then encouraging pen friendship with the foreign students. Okay, visiting abroad, studying the culture of different countries of the world, different cultures of the world. Arranging an exhibition showing the cultures of various countries. Okay, these are all celebrating international days. International World Environment Day. And now we are going to celebrate in our Titus Second College. We are going to celebrate on 21st June as a World Yoga Day, International Yoga Day, that we are going to celebrate. As part of it, we have arranged a 1-month certificate program of yoga. Some students have joined, not only our students, but students from other institutions also. Along part of it, we have arranged a competition of video preparation, video preparation, yoga, certain asanas. You record it and send to us. If you are also interested, you can send videos. You contact DIOCESAN. I'll give you the WhatsApp number. Then you can send it in my WhatsApp or mail to us. You can definitely participate in it. So these are all activities for promoting international understanding. These are all general aims. Whereas we should deal with instructional objectives. But at the same time, if we give emphasis to instructional objectives, we should be aware of the various general aims. Otherwise, we cannot stick on to the instructional objectives. We will be sticking on alone to instructional objectives. So that will be blind. We should be aware of the various general. Our ultimate aim is to attain general aims through various stages. Okay. So I'll be briefly explain these two instructional objectives in that these instructional objectives were classified first as a taxonomy by Benjamin S. Bloom. You might have heard of while your studies in B.Ed or DLED. Okay, he has classified it under 3 domains: cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. In a usual class, we are emphasizing only cognitive domain. But still, along with that, we can attain affective domain and psychomotor domain also. Psychomotor domain is dealing with the skill aspects. The main work is doing there, doing. Hands is the main concentration, and doing lab experiments and other activities, doing certain activities skillfully, that is the thing. Then affective domain, main action going on is feeling, affecting, feeling, loving, empathizing, like that. Okay, then the major area is heart, affecting. Then cognitive domain, main area is head, that is brain, head. Then thinking is the main process, thinking. The objectives are knowledge, knowledge comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. This is the traditional classification given by, the original classification given by Benjamin S. Bloom. This is the first classification. Then we take into consideration a revised cognitive domain as his followers like Thiruvalla, like that. Okay, some experts just like Thiruvalla, they were followers of Benjamin S. Bloom. Okay, they developed and revised the cognitive domain as remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and instead of synthesizing, they termed it as creating. Creating is same as synthesis, but they gave a particular superior position to that synthesis and named as creating, above evaluating. Remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So we teach our students in a particular period for the realization of all these objectives. Not all these objectives together for all classes. No. Some class may be remembering alone. Some class may be both remembering and understanding. Some class may be specifically emphasizing on applying, but remembering, understanding will be there. But applying is the major concern. Then some class may be for analyzing. For the analysis class or applying class, they should be given remembering and understanding earlier. Okay, then you can take the same topic for application, analysis, and creating also. You cannot aim at from remembering to creating in the single class. It's very difficult, very, very difficult, because for applying, there should be proper knowledge and comprehension or understanding. If our proper understanding has developed, then only the students can go to application level, simple application. But we can make them familiar with some application, but they themselves should apply the particular item in their life situations, in their unfamiliar life situations. That is what is called apply. I'll be making it more clear. This is remembering. So when you tell me that I teach for providing knowledge, okay, listen me carefully. When you answer that, why do you teach? I teach my students to provide knowledge. So what is knowledge? What is a knowledge level class? A knowledge level class is one in which you encourage the students to, you provide knowledge, provide information, and you encourage them to accommodate the knowledge in their brain, in their long-term memory of the brain. Okay, proper accommodation of what has been learned. Then when a need arises, when a situation demands a particular performance from the part of the learners, they'll be recalling the particular item and providing this. Just like a mother in the kitchen properly accommodates certain, but suppose she bought some bananas, 2 kgs of bananas. She properly placed it in a particular bag and properly placed there. A guest came. She simply took that particular banana, then placed it in a plate, and then served it to particular guests. This is what is called knowledge. Make clear? You internalize a particular knowledge, you receive a particular knowledge, properly accommodate in your brain, long-term memory, then you recall it when a situation arises. What has been learned may be reproduced, may be recollected and performed. So that is what is called knowledge. So I may ask you again, do you want to be such a student of you, to simply recalling what has been taught and what has been learned? No addition thinking process has been done by the students, just like a comparing, contrasting, giving additional examples, giving reasons why it is so. No, the student is not able to do certain mental manipulation, any sort of mental manipulations. He is simply recalling and giving the answer. Suppose you gave an answer to a question, he or she is making it by heart, learning it by heart, and simply reproducing it in the answer paper. No additions are there. This is what is called knowledge. Do you like to be such a teacher and like to produce such a learner? So think of that. If you say, I teach my students to provide knowledge, yes, your first aim is to provide knowledge. Then what is next? Understand. Understanding. What is understanding about the knowledge? So you provided knowledge. You provided knowledge. And based on the knowledge, the students are cooking, processing, we call information processing. Processing the particular information and making it a new product. For example, the mother, with the help of the banana, make it a roasted one. Banana fry. Make it a banana fry and serve it to the guest. It is not simple recalling, taking simply from the bag and serving. No, that is knowledge. The mother is cooking that particular knowledge, that information, and making in the form of a new product and serving. This is the ability of understanding. Got it clear? That means, what is knowledge? The answer is what, when, which. In which year we got independence? In which year French Revolution started? In which year the Second World War broke out? When, what, which, where? The answer of all these WH questions are knowledge. What is the meaning of it? What is the meaning of it? That is knowledge. You have given a definition and you are simply asking that particular definition, define. And that is knowledge. Then you have given 4 or 5 definitions. Then asking the students, based on these definitions, can you give a definition of your own? If the students are able to give a definition of their own, they are at the understanding level, not simply recalling what has been taught by you. That is understand. That is the difference between knowledge and understanding. You should make this very clear to your teaching. So for making understanding, you need to compare items, differentiate items. You need to explain. You need to elaborate. You need to distinguish. You need to give several examples and ask the students to generate examples also. Give several reasons why, the answer of 2 questions, why question and how it is so, why it is so. Sometimes we may ask, the parents may ask, Mon, how it is so? No, that has not been taught by the teacher. The student may be answering, it has not been taught by the teacher. I don't know because it has not been taught by the teacher. That means that the student only able to recall what has been taught. No, he should be able to answer why it is so. If he is able to answer why it is so, that is understanding. Got it clear? If he is able to give additional examples in addition to what has been given by the teacher, if he is able to give additional 2 or 3 examples, production, can you cite an example of production of your own production? Economics teachers may be here. I learned production as manufacture of goods and services, manufacture of goods, manufacture, soap making. Soap is a product, and with the help of certain raw materials, a soap piece is produced, and that process is called production process. Making use of various factors of production, we are making a product, soap. That process is called production. So later on, I studied that production is adding to the value of something. Suppose with a paper, you are making it a flower. The paper is worth only 50 paise. The paper is worth 50 paise. So you made it a flower. Then flower is worth 5 rupees. So that 50 paise product was converted into 5 rupee product. You haven't manufactured anything, but still you increased or developed the utility and the value of the product. So addition to the utility, addition to the value is also something related to production. So if you are able to write an example, splitting logs for firewood. Splitting logs for firewood, is it a consumption or production? Somebody may be telling that it is a consumption because he is splitting the logs for firewood in the kitchen for cooking something. Is it consumption? Splitting logs? No. Through splitting logs, he is actually increasing the utility. If it is in the form of a large wooden piece, it cannot be used for cooking purpose. So he is actually making its better use, more useful products. The man splitting the logs may be increasing the utility of the products. So that is production. That is an example of production. If you teach your students production after the class, after teaching the unit, after learning the unit, whenever a particular student sees a particular person splitting logs, he should think of that it is also a production. Okay, and several items from the surroundings he can identify that it is production and this is consumption. When mother is using the logs, that pieces for in the cooking something, that is consumption. That is not production. That is consumption. Okay, so in order to identify all these things, the student should be at the stage of understanding. Okay, comparing, defining, giving examples, giving reasons, finding out relationships, interpreting certain things. Suppose you give a table, is the student able to interpret it? You show a table, if the student is able to read it, knowledge. Read it only, knowledge. And if he is able to understand or interpret it, then that is understanding. Okay, this is very difficult to understand initially, but still you need to internalize it. The difference between remember and understand. I say understanding is the doorway to all other higher objectives. Stepping from knowledge to understanding is very difficult. You need to give several examples for that. You need to give several comparisons for that. You need to establish relationships there. You need to cite several events for that, several personalities. So you need to ask the students to explain, ask the students to define, giving opportunities to the students to think of it and arrive at their own conclusions, analyzation, understanding, conclusions, understanding, inferences, understand, that is understanding. If the students are able to arrive at inferences of their own, that is understanding. So help them to understand in the class, then automatically they can go to higher levels. They can apply it naturally, they can analyze it, they can evaluate it, and they can simply create also. If you teach them a poem, they can create new poems. You teach them a prose, they can create a story based on the theme. You teach economics, price theory, price mechanism, production function, law of diminishing marginal utility. Then do an experiment. Ask them, take a banana and ask them piece by piece. After having the particular first piece, ask them to feel the experience, feel the pleasure, feel the satisfaction. And after a while, ask them to take the second piece. Then ask them to compare. Compare the intake and the satisfaction. The satisfaction may not be same as the first one, but more or less similar, not significantly lower. Then take the third piece, fourth piece, fifth piece. What is the difference between the first piece? The fifth one may be very low. Satisfaction may be. That is what is called law of diminishing marginal utility. That may be a higher theory. If we take any food item, the first piece may be giving us a large amount of satisfaction, utils of satisfaction, then the remaining units we will be getting lesser and lesser amount of satisfaction. This is what is the essence of law of diminishing marginal utility. So these are all very interesting. So try to make our teaching so interesting by giving examples from life situations. Then only the students will be able to compare it with their own life. He also will be thinking in terms of their own life situations in the class also. Otherwise, there is a gulf between the life, real life, and the teaching of the teacher. That is why the social science subject is found boring to the students. Teacher never compares. You teachers may be different. So try to make a different teacher. Try to make an excellent social science teacher, bringing interest and motivation among the students to create new things, combining parts to make a new thing. In your class, let the students write stories based on the theme you taught in the class. Social science subject, history, economics, political science, sociology, several subjects. If you teach a topic, ask them to write stories, write a poem based on that, write a cartoon, draw a picture and paint it. Environmental Day, we got several, about 150 something pictures drawn by school students. It is, I feel astonished because we got pictures of 2 standard students. 2 standard students. They are also motivated. They called me, two or three standard students called me over phone and talked to me the details, how I need to send it. It's a very, very pleasant experience for us. You do it like that. You do it for your students. And if you are interested, you can extend it to other schools also. This in MGM schools itself, you can extend it. You think of innovative activities, and then only your students will also be thinking of innovative activities. Okay? So I'm not going to the details. But if you need any clarification regarding this one, any elaborations, you maybe ask. You can ask at the end of the class. Then secondly, if you need any interval, hello, Acha, do they need any interval?
No, we can continue, sir.
Continue.
Yeah.
Another half an hour?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Effective teaching strategies. Second, first one, you should be well aware of the various objectives. They are very specific. If you are particularly sticking on knowledge, you give knowledge, provide knowledge in an interesting manner, give certain mnemonics to remember, otherwise certain clues, certain connections, then repeat it several times. You ask questions, then only it can be accommodated in the brain. Then whenever you ask, they can give you the answer. That is what is called knowledge. If you want understanding, you compare it with another aspect. You give additional examples, reasons, relationships, inferences, generalizations, explanations, illustrations like that. Then only it will become understanding. Then application, give some applications, then let students apply it in their own situations. Then you ask certain experiences from the students. Through the application, they may be getting some experiences. Ask them their experiences. They will be explaining it to you. Application. Then all other items, naturally, that will come. Okay. So this should be the teaching style of objective-based teaching. Then try to use effective teaching strategies. Learn the various traditional and modern strategies of teaching. I may not be going in detail the various strategies in detail, but everything is you can take from the internet. You teach, you learn by your own the various modern and traditional teaching strategy. But I emphasize you to follow a multi-methodology approach. So a multi-methodology approach. How can you practice a multi-methodology approach in your teaching social science? So lecture method is very usual, but you should not stick entirely on lecture method in your class. No, you may not be doing that, but still you can use lecture method in introducing the class, giving additional examples, additional explanations, clarifications, then connecting. You can use lecture as a connection between two concepts. One concept you may be using discussion, another the question answer method. Then in between you can use lecture method. Then another one is for concluding the session, lecture method. Concluding the session. For giving additional information, lecture method can be used. Okay, so lecture method may be used in a class then and there, and you need to understand the uses. Then question answer method. You can ask several questions. The students may be answering. Simple questions. Only one word questions you can answer. You can question. Then they may be answering. Then in certain cases, the students can also ask questions. If the students are able to ask you questions, you may be answering, or other students, let other students answer. If all students fail, you can answer. Ask students to question. After learning a particular unit, particular chapter, you ask students to come prepared to ask questions in the class. In our school days, I still remember in Malayalam class, the teacher used to help us to encourage us to ask questions. Then the students may be punishing us also, giving a stick and asking the student to punish. That may not be suitable, but still asking questions is of great significance. Students asking questions, other students can answer. Okay, question answer session, you can make it a variety. Then storytelling, I have already explained. Narration, I have already explained. Narration in a natural way, as if you were participating in that particular scene. Then playway method, in its very lower classes, you can practice playway method. You are all practicing it. Then activity method, that can be used in any class, any higher class. You can give an activity. I will be giving an example of activity. Music, you can practice music. Dance, discussion method, you can give discussion, small group discussions. In the discussion, 5 or 6 students may be there. That's better. Give topics to each group. Then activity cards, certain information cards may be given to the group so that they can refer it and arriving at their own points. Okay, then project method, giving them a project based on the topic you taught in the class. Observe your surroundings and arrive at identify the causes for environmental pollution in your surroundings. Conduct an observation and identify the causes of environmental pollution, if any, in your surroundings. So that may be a project for them. Undertake a project and prepare a project report. So thereby you can make them learn that particular item. This is somewhat application also. Application of what has been learned in the class. Then seminar, assignment, quiz sessions based on the topic. Now in the school, GK may be conducted in quiz sessions, but this academic activity can also be converted into quiz sessions also. Games, certain games you can give. Puzzles you can give. Peer tutoring means a student is teaching them, a student. Cooperative learning, make students learning pairs and learning squares. 4 students learning squares. Then 6 or 7 students learning groups. Make learning pairs. That is also called partnership learning. Learning partners, partnership learning. Undertake the responsibility of learning by the students. Help them undertake. It's a responsibility of the students. Learning is the responsibility of the students. So make them feel like that. Okay. Then collaborative learning. So this topic, this present resource talk is a collaborative effort. I asked DIOCESAN to make us collaborate with your top this particular orientation series. It's very advantageous for both the institutions. It's a collaborative learning. You can cooperate with make other agencies, institutional agencies, collaborate with your own teaching learning in the class. Okay, in this period you can digitally contact with them, and they can give you some classes also like that. Okay, then mock sessions, mock assembly, mock parliament like that. Then dramatization, you can act a drama based on the theme taught in the class. Make a skit, mime, etc. Then study tours, very interesting. Then celebrations, you can celebrate national birthdays of national leaders, international leaders, local leaders, birthdays of Saint Gregorios, your Saint Gregorios of Thiruvalla, your Saint MGM institutions. So in commemoration with certain great leaders, we celebrate our own celebrations. Okay, so then birthdays of teachers or students even you can celebrate. Maybe very difficult to celebrate birthdays of all the students, maybe very difficult, but still you can identify the birthdays of students each day. You can before entering, after entering into the class, in the beginning itself you can wish a birthday to the particular students. Today 5 students are celebrating birthdays. I do sincerely wish you all a very good, a peaceful year ahead. That's why you can give a wish in the class, so that the students may be well attached to each other and also with the teacher. Celebrations, then camps, nature camps, social living camps, community living camps, like that. If you arrange camps once in at least once in a year, it's very effective, I think. So these are all the methods that can be used by you. There are plenty of number of methods are there. So try to collect all those items which you can adopt in your class. So if you combine several, not all, but more than 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 even, then that will become a multi-methodology approach in your class. If you combine lecture method with a story, a discussion, then a project, then a quiz session, like that, a seminar presentation, like that, that will become a multi-methodology approach. Okay, this is a learning pyramid. Average retention rates of all these items, lecture having only 5% retention. Okay, only 5% retention as far as the school students are concerned. Then reading, along with the lecture, the students read also. If they are reading along with the lecture, then it will have 10%. And along with these two, if you show an audio-visual aid also, if you make use of audio-visual aids, that will become 20%. If you adopt a demonstration in your class, it will become 30%. If you adopt a group discussion also along with this, 50%. If you help them to practice it in their life situations, it will become 75%. If you help them to teach others, if you help your students to teach others, teach their family members even, or teach, if they get chance, you help them to teach other students, because 90%. So help others, help the students to teach others. Just like imagine that you are a teacher, then teach others. Okay, class monitorial system, class leader system, like that, you can ask them to teach in the class. So you can change the class monitor and class leader every month or every term. You can change it so that other students also get a chance to get this particular experience. Then this method can be classified into teacher-driven method and student-driven method, teacher-centered and learner-centered. Method may be monologic and dialogic. Dialogue means along with other students. We may be practicing it with other students or teacher. Then monologic means we do it independently. That's the thing. So first, in the first part, lecture. Lecture is a teacher-driven and monologic item, solely exercised by the teacher. That's why it is less impressive as far as other methods are concerned. Then the second part, it's a teacher-facilitated discussion. And that's even though it is a teacher-driven item, it's a dialogic item. Students are also participating in it. So the teacher-facilitated discussion is more effective than mere lecture. The third part, it's a dialogic as well as students-driven item. The student-facilitated discussion, here the teacher is not involved in it. Students are involved as groups and then they conduct a discussion. Student-initiated discussion is there. That is dialogic at the same time, student-driven. Then the final fourth part, it is monologic at the same time, student-driven. That is what finally we aim at. We aim at helping the students to learn by himself or herself, not as in groups. They may be learning it in groups, but still finally they will be able to learn independently each and every topic. This is can be explained further. This is teacher responsibility. This is student responsibility. This is 4 sessions of a particular class. Suppose you divide the 4 sessions, first 10 minutes, then next 14 minutes, then next 6 minutes, and final 10 minutes, like that you can arrange, or you divide the lesson conveniently to any duration. Okay, then first session is focusing on the lesson. I do it. The teacher is giving all directions regarding the learning in the class, today's class, and about a briefing about the topic also, the problem to be discussed. Then second part, it should be a guided instruction. Rather than sticking on, emphasizing, explaining all those items, you give it in 10 minutes. That's the first part. I do it for you. The teacher is doing it. And second part, guided instruction. We do it together. The teacher is asking, we do it together. The teacher, along with the students, jointly conducts the particular session. Maybe doing an experiment, or maybe doing an activity. So the students are also joined. Teacher is also actively leading. Then we do it. That's a guided instruction. And teacher responsibility reduces, and then as phases goes on, student responsibility become wider and wider. Okay, in the third phase, that's a collaborative effort. You do it together. That may be a group discussion by the students. So teacher's role may be very less. Teacher may be supervising it, making some corrections, giving some encouragements alone. The students are doing in groups. That's a collaborative effort. You do it together. But what is the final stage? There is independent stage. There is you do it alone. You do it alone. This is what we expect from every student. The learning should be independent, finally. That doesn't mean that throughout the process, the learner should independently learn. No. This should be that the teacher may be dominating in the initial stages. Then teacher may be helping along with the students. Then students may be doing in groups, learning pairs, learning squares, learning groups. They may be learning. But finally, the teacher should see that every student. That's why whenever I give students group discussions, even in training colleges, I give students group discussions with regard for developing lesson plans. I learn them. I ask them to be groups. But I always emphasize that everybody should write lesson plan. So, okay, in a group discussion, all students are passive listeners like that. So one particular leader may be writing all the things. No, it should not be the practice. Every student, every participant should be writing. Teacher should see that everybody is writing their own notes. Whatever the thought, whatever is thought by the group should be written out by the entire members. That's why it is you do it alone. So the teacher may be asking, one leader in the group leader should not always be fixed. I'll be asking the name of the leader. So everybody should write the notes and the findings, and I'll be asking one in rotation. Then he or she should be presenting it like that, so that everybody will be taking their own points, notes. Okay. So this is what is called a cooperative learning. Cooperative learning. Learning in pairs, learning in squares, learning in groups. Then think, ask them to think individually. Then they are pairing, sharing the particular thoughts, then sharing it with others. Think, pair, share is a strategy. You can search information from the internet. Think, pair, share, and think, pair, square, share. All these are cooperative learning strategies. Okay. So we can have a music now. You may get bored. Only another 15 minutes we may be continuing it. After that, we may be discussing some queries from you, and finally we may conclude it. Lord, this is only a prayer. Lord, make me your violin. This should be a teacher's prayer, with the strings of holiness, sound of angels, singing praises to you. You make me a violin, O God, with the strings of holiness. Please fix holiness in me as strings in violin. That is the sound of angels. My sound should be that of angels for singing praises to you. It's a beautiful song, so we can sing it. Okay, you can also see the lines. Lord, make me your violin with strings of holiness, sound of angels singing praises to you. Lord, make me your violin with strings of holiness, sound of angels singing praises to you. Come on, let's glorify his precious name. Praise him all the time, praise him all the time, praise him all the time. Lord, make me your violin with strings of holiness, sound of angels singing praises to you. So let me go fast so that we can finish it within 10 minutes. Okay, practice mnemonics. It's very, very important for a social science teacher. We should practice mnemonics. Mnemonics is a learning technique that helps us to organize, retain, and remember information by making recall easy. For a knowledge level class itself, you should remember this mnemonics. Mnemonics has a great significance. I will be making you familiar with some mnemonics only. You can collect plenty of mnemonics from internet, and you can also develop your own mnemonics. This is one of the mnemonics to study the Great Lakes. Great Lakes. Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, Ontario. Superior, super. Michigan, man. Some helps. Huron helps. Erie, every. Ontario, one. O. SMHEO. Superman helps everyone. Our young children believe that Superman helps everyone. Okay, so you give this mnemonics to them to learn the Great Lakes of the world. So Superman helps everyone. Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, fund area. Okay, so you can make the particular picture and also prepare it PowerPoint and then show them also. This is another to study the particular so Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. All these we can understand by giving a mnemonic like my very educated mother just served us noodles. My very educated mother just served us noodles. Okay, MVEMJSUN. Okay, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay, then if you teach Second World War, there are two groups of countries called Allies and Axis powers. Allies and Axis powers. Allies form 5 big countries of the world. Big 5 allies. That is Britain, France, USA, USSR, China. Then Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. So I suggest to you as a mnemonic as Allies big 5 powers as BCFUs. BCFUs. B Britain, C China, F France. U's means 2 U's. USA, USSR.
Sir,
2 U's. BCFUs.
Excuse me, sir.
Then Axis powers, GIJ. GIJ. Unit.
Can you hear me?
Germany, Italy, Japan. Okay, this is a mnemonic. The Great Revolt, if you want to remember it, 1857. You can compare it with the year of independence, 1947. Then first figure and the last figure is same, 1 and 7. Then independence is 19. Then first war is 18. 1 less than 19, 18. Then in order to compensate the value, the 4 is increased to 5. So 1857. 1 and 7 are same with when you compare with the year of independence, 1947 and 1857. This is a comparative mnemonic. What is French Revolution? In which year French Revolution started? 1789. If you see the figures, 1 after 1, 7, 8, 9. First figure, first digit 1, then last 3 digits 7, 8, and 9. That's a very great peculiarity of French Revolution. Sorry, 1789, 1789. So these are all some mnemonics. You can practice it in your own teaching also. Then game. One game I shall give you as an example that I practiced in my college classes. If you teach population problem, national income, per capita income, like that, these topics, when you teach it, then population, you take population problem. Then after teaching it, you need to give a game. You can give a game to make it established in the minds of the students. You take 2 boxes. One can be labeled as resources and the other is national income. Then put 10 sweets. 10 means 10 or 15 you like. More sweets in the first box, then start the game. You show the national income, it is empty now. But you shake it, resources, shake it, then there are something. So we have resources, we have no national income. That is the present situation. Okay, then we are going to start the game. Show the 2 boxes, one is empty. Take two sweets from the first box and put it in the second box. If you take 2 sweets from the resources to the national income, that process is called the production. I need to explain. I have already explained the production process. By making use of resources, you are generating national income. That process is called production. So now the national income is not empty. Due to the influence of production, national income, we have increased the national income to 2. Then Now suppose the population is 2. You ask 2 students to come forward. These are the population of our country. It's only symbolic, 2 students. Then distribute it, distribute the national income to the 2 students. How much each student gets? That we will get national income 2 divided by population. That is per capita income. You teach it, you know it, everything. You need only get this clue. 2 by 2, national per capita income is equals national income by population. 2 by 2 equals 1. Everybody is getting 1. Okay. Then after that, in the next stage, you take one more sweet to the national income box. Now the national income has increased from 2 to 3. But population, you ask 2 more students to come here and stand. Now the population has become 4. National income increased to 3, but population increased to 4. Now what is the per capita income? 3 by 4. That is 0.75. How can you distribute it? Only 3. You need to distribute it to the 4. So you give one more, one each. Then one particular student is not getting anything. So this will become help to increase inequality, unequal justify our distribution in the of national, unequal distribution of national income. You can picturize this particular, demonstrate this particular the item. Then you can again take one more sweet from here, then ask 2 or 3 students here, then try to distribute it. At every stage, the national income is increasing. Our India's problem is not the national income is not decreasing but increasing. But in a more than proportionate rate, the population is increasing. So the population is increasing in our country at an alarming rate. That's why the per capita income always coming down, and the poorer are become poorer and poorer, and there is a wide gulf between haves and have-nots. That's the main thing. You can demonstrate this very beautifully so that they will be much attracted and much motivated to your. I even remember that when I take demonstration classes in my college, as in the economics, free goods and economic goods, I carried a glass of water to them. So in order to teach them, water is a free good and glass is an economic good. Why water is a free good? It is available in plenty. No price is given to this water, and everybody can use it. Okay, see, it's available in plenty like that. Glass is not available in plenty. Supply is very limited. Whereas in free goods, supply is unlimited. Okay, like that we can give examples like that. So yeah, I advise you, social science teachers, you should try to demonstrate such games and activities and bring certain objects in the class. Objects in the class. I still remember my students are teaching Portuguese rule in India. Portuguese. The contributions of Portuguese in India, to our country, they have brought tobacco and some other papaya, like that products in our class, that objects in our class, just to show them, not figure or picture, but still the real objects. If we teach them real objects, then definitely that will be more attractive. So these are puzzle games. So puzzle games, you ask students to prepare word puzzles like that, world history or economics or political science. You prepare some just to give an example. Then students will be preparing in plenty and they'll be learning it very effectively. I'm not going to explain any other items because of lack of time. That's why one item I need to emphasize: you should grow professionally. You should love the students unconditionally. I will be reading that for your benefit. You love the students unconditionally. Create a space for all learners in the teaching learning process. No, never neglect anybody in the class. Even if a slow learner is there, you may be handling him whenever you get time. special care should be given to. So create a space for all learners in the teaching learning process. Love the students unconditionally, without any condition. You love the students. Create flexible and learner-friendly environment in teaching. You should develop a passion for teaching and learning. You should also learn. Never stop learning. You can make use of IGNO. I am a counselor of IGNO also. You can even along with working there, you can undertake learning, continuous learning. You can study continuously in the open system. Okay, never stop learning, undertake learning. Try to publish papers. Publish papers. Today morning, Achan in the WhatsApp group gave me MGM Darpan, that particular item, having 54 pages. It is with me that digitally he has given to me. In that particular paper, Darpan journal, he has asked invited papers, not only of teachers. If you teachers, you encourage your students, 1 or 2 students. In my Thiruvalla college, 3 of our students have, and today during the time of 6 months, they have published 3 papers in internationally accepted journals. 3 papers. Okay, you can also publish it in, at least in MGM Darpan papers. You encourage your students to take some leading topics, and they will be preparing papers of their own. You correct it and give it to MGM Darpan. Okay, this will be a great help for them. Try to collaborate with other institutions as far as you can. Teaching is to be your passion. Try to do research, simple researches, and publish papers. Extension activities and publish papers. Okay. Then finally, practice evaluation. It should be continuous formative evaluation and summative evaluation. Throughout the class, you can evaluate. Help students to learn and practice. When? Throughout the course. Why? Identify gaps and improve learning. How? Via approaches that support specific student needs. Summative evaluation, assessment students' performance at the end of a particular term or particular year. When? At the end of the instructional period. Why? Collect evidences of student knowledge, skill or proficiency. How? Well, exit learning products or a cumulative assessment. External examination, through external examination. Formative can be done even by asking questions in the class. You give activities in the class. You give activities in the class. Okay? Test series can be adopted internal. Assignments can be given. Group projects can be given. Seminars can be arranged, whereas students can present papers. Project can be given. Then competitions, peer evaluations for students. Yes, particular students may be evaluated by other students. Okay, student evaluation for teachers also. You should also need to ask evaluations from the part of the students. Ask students to write an evaluation of your own class. How do you feel, my class? You take an evaluation of that. Monthly evaluation can be monthly or terminal evaluation. You can take that can improve a lot. Now, I used to take monthly evaluation from my students every month, every year. I asked my students. Not all students may be giving regularly, but still they may be having certain problems. At least from this students, we may be getting feedback. Okay, this may be for our own improvement. Then our teaching should be objective based. Our teaching should be objective based. I should also emphasize that. How can you use a knowledge level evaluation, a question? You ask what is the name of this? Who is the author of this one? Who is the chief exponent of this one? Who is the major leader who led the particular movement? Like that. In which year we got independence? Like that. Okay. In which year French Revolution broke out? Like that. You ask what, which, when, where, such questions. Then understanding, elaborate, explain briefly, distinguish between, then give examples, establish the relationship, distinguish between, What are the reasons? Why it is so? What are the reasons? Explain the causes. All these are understanding. Applying. Suppose you are appointed as a teacher in a college. Suppose you want to write a memorandum to the minister. You write a memorandum to the minister to be submitted before the home minister or the chief minister of your state. You prepare an application. Prepare an application for the post of a clerk in an office. That's an application. In the form of, you prepare an essay, you prepare a poem, you prepare a story, like that. Okay, all these are applications, and create also. Maybe some creative activities may also be there. You try to make your evaluation objective based. So make your teaching objective based and use appropriate instruction strategies to make your teaching follow a multi-methodology approach. Then third one, you make your teaching using appropriate evaluation strategies. So try to follow formative as well as summative evaluation strategies. So finally, I may conclude with the statement that dedicate yourself to God. That's a final comment I should give you. When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of a talent left and could say, I used everything you gave me. Everything finished God. Jesus at the end of his life told God the Father in heaven that finished everything. What has been entrusted with me, I have fulfilled all my duties. Even if we may not be able to say such a statement that I have finished everything. No, may not be possible. But still, we need to fulfill 75% of what has been entrusted by God to us. So we should take this as a duty. It's a divine calling from God, and dedicate ourselves before God. Let me sing that particular song once again and conclude our session. Lord, make me a violin with strings of holiness, sound of angels singing praises to you. Lord, make me a violin with strings of holiness, sound of angels singing praises to you. Come on, let's glorify his precious name. Praise him all the time, praise him all the time, praise him all the time. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best of luck throughout your career to fulfill your duties with full confidence and with the full blessings from God. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for the wonderful session. Now it's time for question and answers. If you have any doubt, you can either unmute or type in the chat box of the Google Meet or even in the YouTube.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sir, I wanted to ask, can you please mention which are the best ways or methods to teach history without making it boring?
You can use, as I said, lecture method, narration method, storytelling method, demonstration method, discussion method, then question answer method. You can project method, any specifically for history, all these items can be. Then source method. Sources, you make familiar with the various sources of information that can be found in the history topic, history subject. source method you can use. Some sources are there, literary sources, then monuments, then relics, imprints, okay, then traditional remainings. From all these items, the students may be getting information. Okay, you make familiar with the various sources. There can be primary sources, secondary sources also. Primary sources can be available from the primary contacts with the experts in the community, or primary contacts with the officials and the offices, administration report to the offices. You can get primary sources. The secondary sources you can get from published works, books, journals, like that, published works. From both these sources you can have materials, and try to collect materials, interpret it properly. Interpretation of sources is also important. Interpret it properly. May not be in different languages. So we need to get help from language experts. Interpret it properly and then get it arranged in a systematic information. Then that is another important for the method to be used for teaching, especially history, is source method. Then inductive method is there, deductive method is there. These are all items that you are very familiar. In the deductive method, you give a general items first, then go to deduct items, simple items. Then democracy is an effective form of government. That may be a general item. The population is a curse to our country. That may be a general item. You provide that general item first, then give deductions. Why it is so? Why do you say so? Because of all these things. You may be presenting several facts in order to establish this general idea, concept. So you present the concept. If you present the concepts first, that will be a deductive method. Instead, if you're interested, you present the facts first. Then based on which you can generalize it as the population is a real curse to our population. Is not at all a curse for all countries, but as far as a poor country like India is concerned, this rapid growth of population is a curse to our country. Population is not at all a curse. That should be the idea given to the students. So that's a generalized idea. If you proceed from the particular to the general, that will be an inductive approach, inductive method. And if you start from the general and give the particular items, then that will be deductive method. So all these items you can use for teaching history. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's another one question. Those students who are weak in language, so how we can deal with them for this subject?
Any other?
Those students who are not that fluent in the language, they might.
In English, you mean English, huh? Okay. Okay. If it is an English, need adjusting with the language. For example, I was studied in Malayalam medium schools in my school days up to 10. Then I went for a pre-degree in Catholic College, Pathanamthitta. Their professors are taking classes in English itself, only English. No Malayalam were given. In the initial 3 to 4 months, we found it very difficult to cope up with the language. But after that, we were able to follow the language, adjust with the environment like that. So to Malayalam or any other language or local language like that, with the reason that they are not following English, then they will never learn English. That's the thing. So try to follow it, try to simplify the language. If they are not able to follow your English, then try to simplify it. Then if it is a last resort, give some mother tongue equivalence. If it is the last resort, then gradually that can be avoided also. Then they will be catching up with. That's a solution, I think.
Yes, sir. Wonderful. To add to that, if there are any such students, I think the teachers can bring that to the notice of the principal, and some remedial classes can be arranged so that the proficiency in language is also improved. So I think we have come to the end of the session. To wind up the session, I would like to
Definitely, definitely.
call upon Mrs. Minathi S. Solomon, the principal of St. Mary's School, Jabalpur, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm very much delighted to take the privilege to propose vote of thanks to each and everyone present over here. First of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Honorable Bishop, President of MGM Group of Institution, His Grace, Dr. Joseph Mark Dionysius, for providing us such a great opportunity to strengthen our knowledge through the series of pedagogical training session. I'm also grateful to respected Education Officer, Reverend Father Dr. Joshi Varghese, for this inspirational initiative of building awareness and equipping each and every educator of MGM Group of Institution with right perspective. Thank you, Father, for your valuable presence and for your contribution. My sincere thanks to respected resource person, Dr. Professor Samuel Daniel, for having this. It really enlightened the deep insight of teaching social science in a very effective and interesting way. Thank you, sir, for sharing your productive thoughts and ideas to all of us. I'm also thankful to all the respected Vice President, dear principals and teachers for joining the session and making it a grand success. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the staff of Technical Department for their continuous support. Thank you very much to all. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.